My name is Allison Field, and I want to welcome you to our YouTube channel, Create Your Blank, where we share stories of amazing people who have created their blank. We share how they got started, what inspired them on their journey of creating where they are today. Our vision is for you to experience your fullest expression so that your lives are full of joy and passion because you're connecting with your heart and letting that guide your path. Today, we have Klara Wilder with us in the studio, and I'm so excited to have her on with us to share her story. Welcome, Klara.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm so excited. So tell us a little bit about what you do today.
I do so much, but the easiest way to describe it, sex educator, Tantrica and BDSM practitioner.
Okay. Wow. So a sex educator, Tantrica, tell me what Tantrica is.
Tantrica is somebody who lives a tantric way of life. And the easiest way I put it, what I do, is that as a sex educator, I teach you the know-how, the nuts and bolts of sexuality, okay? How to do it. As a tantric, I teach you how to get into your body and be present in your life and present in the bedroom in your lovemaking. And as a BDSM practitioner, as a dominatrix, I teach you how to have a little bit more fun and add a little bit more spice into your sex life and your life in general.
Wow. I love that. I love all of that. And I love all of them together.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about how you got started doing all of this. Because
Well,
I know, I was inspired by your path, and share a little bit about how you got started in doing what you do today.
Okay. Well, the shorter story, the shorter version is when I was 40, I was in custody battle over in my divorce, and I lost the custody of my 4 boys. And I had 3 choices at that time. One choice was to become absolute victim to what happened and become bitter and be bitter for the rest of my life. The second choice was to be a victim again, pretty much, and just to be brought down and stay down and low. And the third choice was to actually heal from it, to heal from what happened and to figure out how to move forward in a way that I'll be useful to my boys when they come back to me, because I knew that one day, whenever that was, they're going to come back to me and they will need a lot of support. So it was an easy choice, really. It was the third one I chose. And then I went on a path of healing. How do I heal? Where do I start? And I realized that as much as I was going to counseling and all that, nobody has really addressed the sexuality part, because I found that the fear and the shame we have in our life, which I had so much, especially being non-custodial mother, right? I found out that the most shame and fear we have in our life is in our sexuality. And it's how we walk through life. So I started healing there. And also there was a moment when I used to be an esthetician. I had a big, beautiful spa that I lost in the divorce too. And I had still some products from it. So I decided to start working from home. And when I put ad in, it was only men who were asking me to massage them. And I had so much shame and fear, especially fear around men, that I really didn't want to do it. But I thought, well, it's a really good way to heal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I started massaging men, and I was like, okay, it was such a deep, deep healing, because I didn't believe them. I didn't trust them. I was physically afraid of them from all my past. So I had to heal all of that.
Wow.
And I felt really different. I felt different in my body. I started feeling more free. I started feeling passion for what I was doing. And so I thought, well, let's go that way. And it just brought me so many amazing clients, so many amazing friendship, and so much being sure about who I am and what I'm here to do. It definitely was not path I decided when I was like 12. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be yeah, I'm gonna be living on the fringe of our society. Absolutely not. But
Right.
living in this space on the fringe of our society, it's so expansive and so freeing.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that story. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about the energy of sexuality, because that is your business. That is what your blank is. And I love that, you've gone through this beautiful healing journey for yourself to like reconnect and then connect with men particularly and in that journey. And so energetically, when you connect with your sexuality and other sexuality, what does that do for others in the rest of their world?
What it does for them is to feel accepted. And that is one of my biggest gifts. When clients can be with me and they feel accepted. When
Mm-hmm.
you have somebody, especially my BDSM sessions, who are kneeling in front of you in their nakedness and in nude, there's nowhere to hide, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no suit to hide behind.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to hide behind. So they really have to open up, and I accept them. I accept them in their fear, in their shame, in everything. They feel accepted. And that is an incredible gift because
Mm-hmm.
they feel, oh my gosh, there is a place where I'm accepted, and they find the acceptance in themselves. And therefore,
Mm-hmm.
walking in a life feeling accepted by yourself in the first place, because that's what we all have to do, right?
Right.
It's very freeing and it's very empowering. It's
Mm-hmm.
very empowering.
And also, I hear it allows them to connect with what it is they like and don't like,
Absolutely.
right? Sexually, physically, emotionally, mentally, right? And I think when people connect in that way, in that really core, raw, native way, it allows them to expand in all the other areas of their life energetically. And
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
They're fearless. They become fearless, right? And they can connect with who they really truly are and what they are here to do and how they're going to move in a way that is coherent with, everything around them, and they're able to support others.
nice, nice. I love that. And I love this space that then it opens up for not only you, but for them and then the rest of the world that they're connected with and inspired by. So tell me a little bit about what or who has inspired you along your path of getting to where you are now.
Well, one of the first people I actually started following and started really watching their videos was the iconic Mama Gina in New York City, who I actually really wanted to study with. And every year I was like, one day, one day, one day, until the one day came, because it was her last year of doing her womanly school arts and School of Womanly Arts. There we go. School of Womanly Arts.
Mm.
And so she was one of the first ones. And she introduced us to the concept of the courtesan.
Court design, courtesan. Uh-huh.
Courtesans. And the concept is that the courtesans were beautiful, sometimes beautiful women, but they were like beautiful energetically and beautiful as a human beings, who usually came from poverty. They came from poverty and extreme hardships. And instead of staying in that mindset, they actually took it and they turned it into a goal. You know, they were well educated women. They were educated not just in like a scholarly way, but educated in a human way, how to
Mm.
treat people and how to be around people, how to accept them. And they were really very bright and they were intelligent very often. They were one of the few women who actually could own property back
Mhm.
then, when it was that women were property but the courtesans could actually own property. They were not nobody's property.
Interesting.
Yes. So that was one of the ways, because I think one of the things for us to heal, one of the ways for us to heal is to take what's been given to us, because they say that life happens for us,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
it's to take our pain, take our triggers, and investigate, why is it our pain? What is paining us? What's beneath the pain?
Hmm.
What's beneath the triggers? And that's
Hmm.
how we get to really know each other, how to learn ourselves, how we get to know ourselves. And that's where we can grow from.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And beautiful that that is what, sort of inspired you on your journey of your blank and what it is today. Yeah. So, what do you feel is or are some of the obstacles or challenges that you face in what you do today?
Whew. Well, I think one of the biggest challenges I'm facing is how my work is viewed, right? And
Hmm.
it is viewed through the lens of our society,
Yep.
right? How we've been conditioned about our sexuality and how we are still being conditioned. So there's this great quote from Deepak Chopra that says, we have a schizophrenic relationship with sexuality.
Hmm.
On one hand, we are being bombarded by it. There is sexuality on TV and all that. And on the other hand, we are still being shamed. So really, we don't know kind of what to do. Am I supposed to be? It's kind of the Madonna whore concept, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, so where am I gonna be on this path? And for me, especially as dominatrix, as a professional dominatrix, as soon as I tell somebody what I do, they either shut down. Very often they shut down. And there's this projection that people have from pornography or from, movies and that, of that really hard woman, the one who beats people and who is merciless, when it's actually the absolute opposite,
Right. Right.
right?
Right. So I love that you're breaking through that. I mean, your desire through your work is to break through those preconceived notions of what it is. And we're in such a, uptight society sexually. I mean, it's like I was taught that, actually I wasn't taught anything sexually. It was more just not talked about. You don't kiss your cousins. You don't, that was the extent of it. Or I remember my dad was an alcoholic. And one night he said, sex is just for procreation. He was drunk one night and he was, talking crap. And he said, sex is just for procreation. And men just want to get in your pants. And so I grew up with that notion in the back of my mind that that was the extent of my sexuality training, right? And it was so in the closet. And I grew up Catholic, of course, and everything is driven by guilt, and you just don't do anything sexually. You don't even talk about it. And so I find that so egregious for our society in general, because it's the core. It can be the core of our energy in being fully expansive as humans, right? And that if we connect with our own sexuality, that's going to provide expansiveness in all the areas of our life. And so I love that you're wanting to break through those preconceived notions of what sexuality is.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, sexuality, once you accept your sexuality and you're not ashamed of it, you are unfuckwithable. Nobody can fuck with you.
Unfuckable. What is it?
Unfuckwithable.
I can't even say it, but it's good. I'm like,
It's just, you cannot be fucked with, because you
yes,
really know who you are and you are so sure about it in your core, that
yes.
your roots are really deep in the ground and you're like a big, strong tree. And you're like, I don't
Mm,
care if you try to shame me, because you cannot shame me.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. So sex is, most people, I think, and I think that's why they're in the closet about it, is they see sex as, a taboo.
Hmm.
almost, you know, and
Absolutely.
you're just doing the wild thing and that's it. The act of, you know, penetration and ejaculation and that's it. That is sex, right? But tell me more about your definition of sex and what that includes.
Okay. Well, my definition of sex is very different than the societal. As you said, the societal has a, a certain criteria.
Mhm.
It usually is some kind of penetration, whether it's penile penetration or digital penetration, and then there has to be an orgasm, right? And
Yeah.
those are two very big criteria.
Mhm.
And it's very performative.
Yeah.
Very, very performative, because if you are a man, if you own a penis, then there is this pressure on you to have an erection, right? And
Right.
then ejaculation, because women can fake it. Men, it's really hard to fake it, right?
Yeah.
Fake
Right.
ejaculation,
Right.
unless there is a medical condition. So it's very performative. And what I like, how I move in the world, is that sex is giving and receiving pleasure.
Period, right?
Giving and receiving pleasure. There is
Mhm.
no performance. There is no end goal. There is
Mhm.
no stress about anything. It is
Mhm.
literally just giving and receiving pleasure. And then, yeah, sex can take hours and hours if we really wanted to, right? But
Mhm.
it's all about more about being with the other person. It's about the connection, because
Yeah.
we all are really dying, dying, dying for connection,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
And if the
Mhm.
woman feels that, oh my gosh, I'm going to be penetrated and I really don't feel like it, and she's going to close down, right? There's going to be
Mhm.
no connection. But if
Right.
she feels, okay, I have the freedom to say no, or just get a massage or give a massage, and there's really no end goal, she's going to be way more open. And the same with a man, too,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
It is
Mhm.
all about connection, being with the other person, being in their energy and doing things together.
Yeah.
And it's that way, it's just a lot of freedom, and you can experiment on things, right?
Mhm.
And you
Mhm.
cannot get it wrong. This
Mm.
one cannot get sex wrong,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
And then such a beautiful experience then.
Hmm.
Instead of, "Oh, I gotta do it, and I gotta, you know, I gotta come, and I gotta pretend like I'm coming, and,
Yes.
you know, I'm tired, and I just wanna go to bed," but if you create space for each other to explore, then it becomes a beautiful, like, dance, right, with each other,
Yeah.
and
And
yeah.
it's funny, when I do speaking engagements, especially for women, I often ask the question. I said, how many times did you have sex when you really didn't want to? How many
Mhm.
times was it an obligation? And you just spread your legs because you didn't want to hear all the talking how you don't have sex. And every single woman raises their hand.
Wow.
Every single one.
So sad. So sad that it has sort of resorted to that, and that it can be so much more.
Oh, so much more.
So what is your big dream goal then for your work, for others?
For others or for me?
No, your big dream for your work with others.
Okay.
Let's do
Okay.
that.
Yeah. My personal big dream for my work is to go and travel and spread the word about how I view sexuality. And my work and my dream for my clients, or for people I talk to, is that I want to help people heal. I really do. And I think, as I said before, sexuality has the most shame and fear in it. And so I believe, especially in this world where we are today, especially you being in the United States, when you have so much fear, what the future's gonna be like, you know, I find that it's very important for me, or for everybody, to start at home. To start at home. So if we heal ourselves, we heal the people around us. We give them hope. Things can be better. We we show the great example to our children, and they're gonna bring it to their children and their children and their children. So for me,
Mhm.
when I'm working with clients, I'm healing one person But I know that it's not just going to be the one person. It's going to be the people they're going to meet and interact with, because
Right.
they're going to hopefully interact from love instead of from
Mm,
fear and
mm,
hate
mhm. Or guilt or
or guilt,
shame.
shame. And
Right.
really, what I find that if we heal on this deep level, a lot
Mhm,
of doctors and psychiatrists and psychologists won't even touch it. I think if
yeah.
we heal on this level, then we have the potential to, spread the healing to others. And that's
Mhm.
all I really hope for.
That's beautiful. That's
Mhm.
beautiful. So, thank you. So, what is the most rewarding thing about what you do?
Rewarding thing. It is just see the smile on my clients' faces. It is to see the spring in their step, to hear from them how much I help them heal, whichever session it is, whatever I do. But people really, very often, especially lately, I'm getting messages from women saying, I've been so disconnected with my sexuality. I'm so disconnected from my body. And I really appreciate what you do because I feel more connected. And if we are more connected with our body, and I know that from personal experience, we feel everything so much more
Mhm.
and we can give more love and more support to
I
one
love
another.
that. I love that. I love that so much. And I love that you sort of take the sex out of sexuality and put in love and healing and expansion, our soul's expansion, really, in who we are in the world. I love it. But yeah, it's sex in and then it's fun and
Oh, yeah. Gotta have fun too. That's where the BDSM part comes in. I do teach couples how to inject some BDSM into their life, because I have clients who told me before, they're like, oh, I don't think I could do that. And I'm like, really? Why don't you come and see me for a session or two? And now they're like the biggest fans, because BDSM includes so much stuff like communication. You learn how to communicate your desires without the fear of being
Mhm.
rejected or being shamed,
or
right?
being
Being
judged, right?
And I have clients who would go and I would say, well, does your wife know that you're here? They're like, no, I cannot talk to her. I broached this subject 20 years ago and she shut me down. And I'm like, 20 years ago? Are you the same person you were 20 years ago? And they're like,
Mhm.
well, no. I'm like, why do you think your partner is?
Yeah. We
Right?
make a lot of assumptions, don't we, about what others like and what they don't like just based on what they said. And, but you're right. When you open up the communication around it and explore together, that just adds a whole nother level of intimacy with
Oh,
the other
yeah.
person,
And as I
right?
said, we are constantly evolving, right? We're constantly evolving. And often couples don't talk about it because of the fear
Yeah.
of being rejected, right? And then they sit down and I send them a BDSM list of activities, and they sometimes fill it up with their partner, and then they swap it, and they see, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you ever wanted this. And she's like, yeah, I wanted you to tie me up for years. I would have loved to, but I didn't know you wanted it.
See,
In long-term relationships, when the
uh-huh.
sexuality, gets sometimes put on a back burner because of the kids and careers and all that,
Oh, yeah.
suddenly they're like, it just rekindles the
Hmm.
relationship because there's stuff to explore,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
New
it's
stuff.
okay to say yes, and it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, hey, I tried it, but I didn't like it. Or I
Hmm.
tried it and I love it. Let's explore more.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yummy.
Mhm.
That's awesome to do. So is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience about your journey and about what it is that you do that I haven't asked?
I think that one of the things I would like to really share was that it was a really hard journey.
Mm.
And I have lost friends because of this journey. I have lost my extended family, but I kept going and I kept being honest about it. So my own family, I came to visit them after 19 years, and they're all were like, so what are all your posts about? What is it that you do? And, I was very open about it. I'm very open about it with my children. I explain it to them where I'm coming from. And I think that's the big reason why I keep going, even if people try to put me down. It is my why.
Mm.
Why am I doing it? And I'm so deep in it. It didn't happen overnight. There were days when I was like, I will stop doing this, blah, 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 blah. But no, it is really and truly my why. I
Mm.
know why I'm doing it, and I
Mm.
know I'm doing it in an ethical way.
Mhm.
And that is, I think, the thing that really gets me going. It is so much easier now because I have cleared the path, and I
Mhm.
really am moving in a world like this is what I do. And I
Mhm.
I do have few practitioners, whether it's tantric practitioners or BDSM practitioners, and they're like, how do you do that? How did you come out? How are you not feeling all the shame? I said, that's because I heal it, because I know who I am and I
Yeah.
know why I'm doing it. And that's the strength I draw from when I have these days when I'm like, oh my gosh, let's forget it.
Yeah, because it's not always easy, right? We have days when we don't want to do our thing and don't want to do our blank, whatever that is. And when we connect with our why, that is our source. That is our lifeline, to show up every day, do what we do, and continue on our journey.
Or take a
So,
little break. Sometimes I have to take a break and I'm like, you know
yeah,
what? Too much burnout. I have to take a break. And then I come back with even more power, more force, more
nice.
willingness to do my work.
Nice. Nice. I love that. And I love hearing about it from you and hearing about your journey. And thank you for your honesty and integrity around what it is that you do. So, are there any programs that you're currently offering that you'd like to share with our audience?
Actually, right now, I am producing a program because I've been doing hands on work only. And now I'm trying to move everything online, or most of it online, so I can reach more clients.
Uh huh.
So on my Facebook page, I have once a month free Zoom call. Actually, I have a free Zoom call that is later posted on my Facebook page, Klara Wilder, sexual educator. And that is all the nuts and bolts about sexuality. It's absolutely free for everybody. Come and check it out and see if they resonate with my view of sexuality and of me
Hmm.
being this way in a world. And about March, I will have the course finished, and then I'll start accepting clients.
Great. And so, how do clients, besides your Facebook page, it's Klara Wilder, KLARAWILDER, right?
Mhm.
They can connect with you on Facebook. Are there other ways they can get more information?
Actually, right now my Facebook is really
Okay.
the best way. It is Klara Wilder at Facebook, or Klara Wilder Sexual Educator. There are two accounts. One is more geared to my everyday life, because I want people to see that even somebody who is doing the work I do is actually just a regular person. They can see my ups and my downs. They're just regular. So Klara Wilder Sexual Educator is more about the education. And there
Nice.
is my website, that is klarawilder.com, where I have some of
Okay.
my treatments.
Okay. Great. Great. Thank you so much. And we will put this information in the show notes for you. So thank you so much, Claire, for joining me today. It was wonderful having you on the show and learning all about your journey. And that's a wrap for today. So if you enjoyed this segment, feel free to add comments, as we'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to receive notifications of future episodes, please hit that subscribe button. And thank you so much for tuning in. And we hope that you have a beautiful day. Thank you.